Hi guys, I just want to take a minute to talk about lift kits and what's legal, what's not, and the appropriate way to legally lift a vehicle. I know some people don't care if they're legal or not, but some people do. So the basics of it is you're allowed maximum of 50mm lift in your vehicle before you need a mod plate. That's 50mm total. And this measurement is made between the middle of your ring and the bottom of your guard. That's called your eyebrow height. Now it's important to know that eyebrow height does change a little bit. And when we do registration inspections, we use the factory eyebrow height for that vehicle off the compliance information. So if you've already got a bar on your four-wheel drive and you measure that eyebrow height, it won't be factory anyway. So it does go off the factory eyebrow height, but the maximum allowed is 50mm total lift. That's tyre, suspension combo, just tyre, just suspension, etc. The maximum you're allowed is 50mm. Now, the important thing to remember is that to comply to the Australian design rules, the vehicle must maintain its rake. Now, the rake is the difference between the front and the back of the suspension, so your vehicle that sits like that. So you might measure from there to there and it's 600mm on the front, and the back might be 620. Now, if you lift the vehicle 50mm, the back would have to be 670 and the front 650. You've got to maintain that rake of the vehicle to comply. If you don't, technically it doesn't comply to ADRs and it's not roadworthy. So when you lift the vehicle, you see kits and they might be a 3-inch front and 2-inch rear to try and take the rake out. You're not actually allowed to do that. As to whether you can do it with a modification plate or not, I'm not sure, I'm not a mod plater. But without a mod plate, you definitely can't go 3 and 2, front and rear, because that takes away the factory rake of the vehicle. Now, when it comes to lifting vehicles, there's a few different options, and there's many different brands and combinations, but the two most common is a suspension upgrade lift kit with your strut and spring, leaves in the rear, or strut spring around, however they are. And another one that's quite popular is the spacers. Now, spacers are legal, you can use spacers, but it's important to realise that not all spacers are legal. They have to be specifically designed for that vehicle because they have to allow for the rake to stay in the vehicle. That's why if you're looking at something like a spacer kit, you're better off going with the big brands like Super Pro, Nolafane, Whiteline, etc. Because their kits are designed specific for the vehicle and they will maintain that factory rake. Because if you don't maintain that factory rake, technically, your vehicle is unroadworthy. Now obviously the spacer kits work with a coil spacer in the front, and if a combo on a Ranger, for example, not that this is a Ranger, but a leaf block on the rear. Now you'll notice there's a thickness difference, and you might be going, well, how's that going to maintain the factory rake? Well, the way it maintains the factory rake is obviously when you put this under the leaf spring, it pushes the spring up, so the spring flattens out, so it actually drops down a little bit. So that's why the rear block's thicker than the front strut spracer. But that's the big important stuff to remember. Your maximum you're allowed is 50mm total. Any more than that, you need a mod plate. I believe the total you can go with a mod plate is 150mm. I'm not sure, I'm not a mod plater. And you must maintain the factory rate when you lift your vehicle. That's why with our fulcrum suspension kits, for example, if it's a 40mm lift, it'll be 40mm front, 40mm rear, and it won't be a 3-2 or a 2-3, etc. to take the rake out of the vehicle. You've got to maintain the rake. The reason why the vehicle has a rake is generally A, for braking performance, and 2, for load. And if you take that rake away, the handling and performance of the vehicle can change dramatically. So there's just a quick rundown on what's legal with lift kits and how to lift your vehicle. Thanks guys.